Question 1. 4 out of 50 is the same thing as 8 out of 100, which is 8%, because percentage means out of 100. Question 2. Write 1.59 correct to one decimal place. Well, we're only allowed one number after the decimal point. We round up to 1.6 rather than down to 1.5. Question 3. 3 to the power of 5 means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Anyway, you can just do this on your calculator, put in 3 to the power of 5, and you get 243. Question 4. Write down a 6-digit number that has 4 as its thousands digit. So as long as we've got 4 in the thousands column, so that's 4 from the right, we're fine. So I've just gone for 114111. But you can do whatever you like as long as you've got a 4 in that column and you're only using the digit 4 once. Question 5. We're changing 35 centimetres to millimetres. Well, there are 10 millimetres in a centimetre, so you multiply by 10 to get 350. Now there are 1,000 millilitres in a litre, so you divide this by 1,000 to get 7.7. And there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so you multiply 0.32 by 1,000 to get 320. Question 6. Well, we're told that Margaret's numbers are a factor of 36. So think in a way, just write down all the factors of 36 first of all. So what are all the small numbers that can multiply by another small number to make 36? So 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and 6 times 6. Now my number is odd, so I've straight away gone and crossed off the factors that are not odd. So I've got rid of the 2, the 4, the 6, the 12, the 18 and the 36. And I'm also told that it's a multiple of 3. So that means it's in the 3 times table. So that gets rid of the 1. So that just leaves me with the 2 possible numbers of 3 and 9. Question 7. So the 3 people are going to play a game. At the end of the game, one of them will be in first, one of them will be in second, one of them will be in third. Use the table to list all the possible outcomes. So if we have M first, then we can have Y then L, or L then L then Y. If we have Y coming first, we could have M then L, or L then M. And then finally, if we've got L coming first, we could have M then Y, or Y then M. So 6 possible combinations. Question 8. So we will need to buy 30 pencils, pens, rulers and pencil cases. So pens, well, we can get 6 for 82p. Now we need 30 in total, so we're going to buy 5 lots of 6. So 5 packs at 82p each should go. So that's 5 times 0.82 pounds, which is £4.10. Now pencils come in packs of 15, so we only need 2 packs to get 30. So 2 packs at 45p a pack, 2 lots of 45p gives me 90p, or £0.90. Now rulers come in packs of 10. Again, I need 30, so I need 3 packs. 3 lots of £1.25 is £3.75. Now the pencil cases I've got to buy individually, so I buy 30 of these at 37p each, which is £11.10. Add these 4 subtotals together, I get £19.85. Question 9. Part A, Emily drives 186 miles in 3 hours. So 186 miles in 3 hours. So how many miles would I go in 1 hour? Well, I need to divide by 3. 186 divided by 3 is 62. So I will go 62 miles in 1 hour. So her average speed is 62 miles per hour. Now part B, we're told Sarah drives at an average speed of 58 miles per hour. That means every hour she will go 58 miles. Now she's driving for 4 hours, so 4 lots of this. 4 times 58 is 232 miles. Question 10. Write down all the prime numbers between 20 and 30. Well, 21's not prime, 7 threes, 22's even, so that's not prime, 23 is, 24's even, 25's divisible by 5, 26 is even, 27, 9 threes are 27, 28 is even, but 29 is odd. Now, Catherine says 2 is the only even prime number. Well, this is true. Now, you must give a reason for your answer. Well, all the other even numbers, so 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on, they've all got a factor of 2. So, so apart from 1 in themselves, they're also going to have a factor of 2. And now 2, of course, is a factor of 2, but it's only the definition of a prime number is when its only factors are 1 and itself. Well, 2. So for 2, it is 1 and 2. So 2 is a prime number, but it's the only even prime number. Question 11. So x plus x plus x, that's 3x. So 3x equals 51. Divide both sides by 3. We get x equaling 51 over 3, which is 17. Now for part B, to undo this division by 4, well, let's multiply both sides by 4. So y equals 3 times 4, which is 12. Now part C, start off by subtracting 7 from both sides. So 2f equals 11. Divide both sides by 2. We get f equaling 11 over 2, which is 5.5. Question 12. Now, to draw up an accurate pie chart, I need to have a column which is for degrees, and my total needs to be 360 degrees, because the angle about a point, the angle in a circle, add up to 360. So to complete my pie chart fully, I need to have a column adding up to 360. Now, my number of fans adds up to 36. So to scale this up to 360, I'm going to have to multiply each of these by 10. So 11 times 10, 17 times 10, and 8 times 10. Now these are each of the degrees. So using my protractor, I've measured 110 degrees for burgers, 170 degrees for pies, and 80 degrees for hot dogs. Now these degrees here I've just put in for your reference. I would not include that in my final answer. My final answer would obviously be the lines drawn correctly and the wording. Question 13. So we're going to find the probability that Laura does not win the prize. Now she's bought 12 raffle tickets. There are 350 in total. So how many does Laura not have? Well, that's 350 take away 12, which is 338. So the chances of her not winning are 338 out of the 350. Question 14, complete the frequency tree. Well, I'm told that 22 of the 45 workers are male, so I'll pop that in there. So given we've got 45 workers in total, the females must be 45 take away 22, which is 23. Now I'm told 16 of the 34 right-handed workers are female. So my female right-handed workers are 16. And my remaining right-handed workers, so the male right-handed workers, must be 34 take away 16, which is 18. So now to fill in this box here, I've got 22 males, 18 of them are right-handed, so 4 must be left-handed. 22 take away 18 equals 4. Then down here I've got 23 females, 16 of them are right-handed, so 7 must be left-handed. 23 take away 16. Question 15. So part A, explain why Mary is wrong. Well, the base angles are actually going to be these here at A and at B. So X is not a base angle, it's the other two angles which are the base angles. Now for part B with William, right, his workings are correct. EGH is 57 and Y will be 123, but the reason he's given for EGH is wrong. This one is like the Z angle rule. This is alternate angles are equal, not corresponding angles are equal. Question 16. So I've got to complete the table. So what do we know so far? We know how many buttons have we got from this row? Well, we've got, on 7 occasions there were 20 buttons. So that's 140 buttons. 21 times 3 is 63. 22 times 1 is 22. Now as things stand, that gives me 225 buttons from those 3 rows. But I'm told the total number of buttons is 320. So the number of buttons up here in this row must be 320 take away 225, which is 95. So how many times will I have got 19 buttons in order to get 95 buttons in total? Well, I do 95 divided by 19 to give me my 5. So my final answer is 5. Working the other way, it's easy to see. 19 times 5 is 95. Add up my 4 rows. I now get 320 buttons in total. Question 17. So we've got 900 grams of butter. We need 225 grams of butter to make 1 batch of biscuits. So 900 divided by 225 means we can make 4 lots of biscuits. Now moving on to the caster sugar, we've got 1000, but we need 110 to make 1 batch. So 1000 divided by 110 means we could make 9 lots, or 9 ... lots, if we're just worried about the caster sugar. Now moving on to the plain flour, we need 275 grams for 1 batch. We've got 1000. 1000 divided by 275 means we can make 3.6 batches. And then on to the chocolate chips. I've got 225. I need 75 to make 1 batch. 225 divided by 75 means I can make 3 batches. So which of these is fewest? Which one of these is really my biggest constraint? Well, it's the chocolate chips. Once I've made 3 lots, I've run out of chocolate chips. So it doesn't matter that I've got more of the other ingredients. I've then got to stop. So I can make 3 lots of the biscuits. 3 lots of 30. 3 times 30 is 90 biscuits. Question 18. So this is a reflection in the y-axis. Question 19. So let's start off by working out the length of this curved length of fencing. So if it was a whole circumference, a whole circle, the length would be pi times the diameter, but I just want half a circle's worth, so that's pi times diameter divided by 2. Now the diameter is 50, so that's pi times 50 over 2, which means I need 78.53 meters to do that curve length. Now if I add that fencing onto this straight line of fencing here, that gives me a total of 128.53 ... meters of fencing. Now the fencing costs £29.86 per metre, so take my 128.53 ... times 29.86. The actual fencing alone is going to cost me £3,838.20p. Now I've also got to pay Jim for £180 per day's work, and he's going to take 3 days. So I've got an extra cost of 3 lots of 180, which is an extra £540. So if I'm charging him he's charging me £540 for the labour, plus 3838.20 for the actual fencing itself. Add these two together, I get £4378.20. Question 20. Well, when we're multiplying, we add the powers, so 3 add 4 is 7, m to the power of 7. Now part B, I've got to apply this cubing to each of the 3 components. So 5 cubed, which is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125, n cubed, which is obviously n cubed, and then p cubed, all cubed. Now when we have a power inside the bracket and outside the bracket, we multiply these together, so that's p to the power of 9. Now for part C, I just work my way along, starting off with the normal numbers. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Q to the power of 9 divided by q to the power of 3. Well, when we're dividing, we subtract the powers. 9 take away 3 is 6. And then again, when we're dividing, we subtract the powers. r on its own is r to the power of 1. So when subtracting the powers, this is 4, take away 1, which is cubed, which is 3. So r cubed. A multiple of 40 and 56. So you want to do your 40 and your 56 times table and see what's the first number you come to that's common to both lists. So I've done the 56 times table because that's not such an easy one just to sort of predict. So 56, 112, 168, 224, 280. Now 280 is on the 40 times table. 7 lots of 4 are 28, so 7 lots of 40 would be 280. So 280 is the lowest common multiple. Now for part B, when you've been given these product to prime factors and you're trying to find the HCF, you want to work your way along and find and hook out the biggest component of each, which is common to both lists. So 2 cubed and 2 squared, what's the biggest one that's common? Well, we've got 2 squared. Then the biggest one common to 3 and 3 is 3. And the biggest one common to 5 and 5 squared is 5. So our highest common factor is going to be 2 squared times 3 times 5. 2 squared is 4, 4 3s are 12, 12 5s is 60. Question 22. So finding an equation of a line from a graph, you want to use as a starting point y equals mx plus c, where c is where the line crosses the y-axis, and m is the gradient, the slope. So with this line here, where does it cross the y-axis? Well, it crosses at -6. So that's the easy opening mark to get, the last term being -6. Now to work out the gradient, we need to have a triangle, we need a slope. So take a nice easy triangle that's just going to be whole numbers, and I can see this triangle here has got a y step of 3, so a height of 3, and an x step, a base of 1. Now the gradient is the height divided by the width, so 3 divided by 1, which is 3. So this line has got a slope of 3. For every one along, we go 3 up. So y equals mx plus c, y equals 3x minus 6. Question 23. Well, the van is bought for 8,500, but we have to add on the VAT, which is 20%. Now, on a calculator paper, to work out 20%, you multiply by 0.2. So 8,500 times 0.2 means the VAT is 1700. So adding the VAT onto the original price of the van gives us a total price for the van of 10,200. Now, we're going to take off a deposit, which we don't know yet. And then the rest of the cost is 12 equal payments of 531.25. So if we take off these 12 equal payments of 531.25 off the original cost, including the VAT, that's going to give us the price, well, the deposit. So 10,200 minus 12 lots of 531.25, which is 6,375, gives us the deposit price of 3,825. So let's just run through that again. We've got the price of the van plus the VAT gives the full price of the van. Take away the deposit of 3,825. It leaves us with 6,375 to pay, which we pay in 12 equal instalments of 531.25. Now we're being asked to find the ratio of the deposit to the 12 equal payments. Well, the deposit is 3,825. The 12 equal payments are 6,375. So this is the ratio. Now we're being asked to give this answer in its simplest form. Now, two ways to do this. You can just keep on simplifying and simplifying, which I've done here. So I divided by 5, I divided by 5, I divided by 3, then I divided by 17 to give me the ratio of 3 to 5. Or I could, right at the beginning, I've just seen if it was going to be a nice small one, I could have done 3,825 divided by 6,375, and that would have given me 3 over 5. So I could have sort of got there quite quickly if I just worked this out as a fraction. Question 24. So this is going to be a quadratic graph. It's a positive x squared, so this is going to be sort of a positive parabola. This is going to be one of those smiley face graphs. So let's start off by working out some of the easier points, and I would suggest you just focus on the positive ones. So we need to substitute into the function when x is 1 to start with. So when x is 1, we've got 1 squared minus 1 minus 6, which is 1 minus 1 minus 6, which is minus 6. So when x is 1, y is minus 6. X is 1, y is minus 6. Now this graph is going to be symmetrical, and already we can see the symmetry coming from the minus 6 to the minus 6. So imagine a pebble being just popped into a still pond here, and then the ripple effect as we ripple out. So we've got the minus 6 to the minus 6 to start with. Now when x is 2, let's go and work out the y value. So y is going to be 2 squared, take away 2, take away 6, which is 4, take away 2, take away 6, which is minus 4. So when x is 2, y is minus 4. And again, because of the ripple effect, that means that over here, when x is minus 1, y must also be minus 4. Now when x is 3, substitute 3 in. 3 squared minus 3 minus 6, which is 9 minus 3 minus 6, which is 0. So when x is 3, y is 0. And again, because of the symmetry, we can say when x is minus 2, y will also be 0. So these two values, I've just relied on the symmetry rather than actually working them out, though of course I could work them out by just substituting these x values into the function. Now for part B, I've then plotted these points and joined them together with a curvy line. Just make sure at the bottom that you just keep it rounded, don't make it have a flat bottom, it's not a vase. Now for part C, use your graph to find estimates of the solution to the equation x squared minus x minus 6 equaling minus 2. Now the left hand side of course is the graph that we've drawn, but we've got to have it where y is equaling minus 2. So we draw a horizontal line along at minus 2 and take readings where this line crosses the curve. So my values are minus 1.6 and 2.6. You didn't have to get exactly these. There is a small amount of flexibility in the mark scheme. Question 25. So let's start off by working out the original pressure. So it's when the force is 70 and the area is 20, we get a pressure of force divided by area, 70 over 20 of 3.5. Now we're told that the force is increased by 10 newtons, so the force goes from 70 up by 10 to 80 newtons, and the area increases from 20 by 10 up to 30. So our new pressure is going to be 80 over 30, which is 2.6 recurring. Now the change in pressure, the decrease in pressure, is obviously going to be 3.5 take away 2.6 recurring, which gives us 0.83 recurring. Now we're being asked to work out or comment on Helen's comment that the pressure decreases by less than 20%. So we need to work out the pressure decrease percentage. Now to work out a percentage decrease, you divide the actual decrease itself, so the 0.83 recurring, by the original pressure of 3.5 and multiply this by 100 to turn it into a percentage. And this gives us 23.8%. So Helen is not correct. The pressure decrease is not less than 20%. It is more than 20%. It is 23.8%. Question 26. Now to work out the volume of a prism, you start off by working out the area of the cross section, so in this case the area of the triangle, and then secondly you multiply this by how deep the prism is. Now to work out the area of a triangle, it's half times base times the perpendicular height, so half times base times 7.2. But obviously the problem we have, we don't know the length of this base. So our starting point is to work out this length of the right angled triangle using Pythagoras. And we can say, if we call this base x, we can say that x squared equals 8.4 squared, take away 7.2 squared. So x squared is 18.72, so our base x is 4.326 ... So the volume of the prism is going to be half times base times height times the depth of the prism. So half times 4.326 ... times 7.2 times 18, which is 280.36 ... So to three significant figures, that's 280 centimeters cubed.